Not all pundits are alike, but there are some overlaps. Something I do believe that is essential if you want to be a successful pundit, get a lot of airtime, is you have to have some kind of identifiable, consistent set of core principles. It doesn't mean you have to follow a particular party line. It doesn't mean you can never have surprising opinions. But people need to have some sense of what you stand for. Now, if you're on a news network and you talk about politics, typically that's going to mean you have a consistent set of liberal principles or conservative principles or libertarian principles. And if you are a so-called moderate, you've got to be a moderate in a way that's interesting and it doesn't just seem like you're putting your finger in the wind. If you are a legal expert, Nancy Grace is someone where you sort of know where she stands. She will reflexively stand up in favor of the victim, and anyone who's accused, she will bash that person and act as though that person were guilty and should be punished. Now, I'm not passing judgment on her. I do want you to see how, regardless of your niche, regardless of your industry, if you want to be a pundit, you need to have some identifiable set of core principles, because this way shows know where to put you. They know how you can be useful. They know roughly the concepts you'll express. It doesn't mean that you know every single thing you're going to say. They don't necessarily want to know every single thing they say, but if they're looking for balance, they're looking for a wide range of opinions. They want to know where different camps are and how they can be represented. Also, if you're going to be a pundit, you have to talk about a wide range of issues. There's no way you can have written a book on every possible subject that you might be called upon to discuss. There's no way you can know a tremendous amount of detail about every single issue in the news. That's the beauty of having principles, and to be able to look at news through the lens of certain core principles, you can then provide an analysis. So that's important. If you really are someone who is purely academic and you can't even imagine giving an opinion unless you've studied a topic for 6 months, television punditry isn't for you. I have to tell you. Now, it doesn't mean you can't create videos or even have an in-depth reporting show, but that's not what TV punditry is about. So I need you, this is your first bit of homework, in one sentence or less, identify how you would be described if you're pitching yourself to a TV producer, someone who puts on shows, someone who books shows, a booker. What are your core principles? Are you a conservative, a liberal, a libertarian? What are your views? It's okay if it's not 100% mainstream, as long as it's identifiable and isn't some sort of pariah class or something seen as completely. I mean, if you're a monarchist, that might work in some European countries as a commentator. There's just not a lot of demand for monarchy in the United States. You're not really relevant to the debate. But you can certainly be a libertarian. You can be a socialist too, although it's a little harder to get airtime. I need you to write down exactly what your core set of principles are, but in just a sentence or two, so we know you know what you're dealing with.